God.
Hey guys, hey. This is a platform called Legally Speaking.
Yeah, we decided to call it Legally
We
Speaking.
decided to call it Legally Speaking. And my name is Kwenangwana. This is my learned colleague.
Muso Matala, but I call him Croc and he calls me all sorts of things. But we're not going to get into that.
Yeah. So we decided to literally do a YouTube channel to bridge a gap between the layman and legal professionals, which is being us.
Yeah.
Basically giving
you like,
not even our views, but it's a perspective, I guess.
Yeah, it's like it's all in the name Legally Speaking. So we're gonna take the issues that you think about that may come up in the news.
Yeah.
You know, and we're gonna give you those same things from a legal perspective.
And but they're not our views as well. We're just expressing it and basing it from a legal perspective, of which can happen on a day-to-day basis. You see it in court, you see it in legal matters. So we're just expressing two sides to a
exactly.
coin.
We don't have opinions. We don't have viewpoints. We are lawyers. We have positions. We take positions.
So the main thing that instigated us to actually even go into this platform and create this platform is what the president has spoken about some weeks back when the vaccines arrived. And he said, sorry to interrupt,
but this is what we do. We legally speak. There is an oath. We're talking.
We're just talking.
We're
having a chat.
Yeah. So when the president said, social distance. When the president said that nobody's going to be forced to take a vaccine, and obviously we thought we started speaking like, okay, fine, guys, like sharp. The government is not going to force you
to take it.
But your favorite place that you like to groove at, might force you. They'll be like, hey, if you don't have a certification or vaccination
or a certain place of employment.
Yes, or your employment. So there's many places that could exercise their right of admission reserve. In fact, I think so. He's going to tell you all about that. Yeah.
So that's the main thing I want to speak about, which is the right of admission reserved, which is a right that is enshrined in the Constitution under Section 25. So this right basically speaks to property rights. Although you have the right of admission reserved, that right can be limited underneath Section 36, which is the limitation clause. And obviously, it has to be reasonable and justifiable reasons for that very limitation. And one of the things that has to be considered is underneath Section 9, which is the right to equality. And the right to equality basically speaks to one not to discriminate. Unfair discrimination. Unfair discrimination. You should not discriminate unfairly. So the things that one should actually even consider when they looking at discrimination or unfair discrimination is the nature of the very discrimination, the purpose it achieves.
So basically, the ends is trying to meet.
The ends is trying to meet when you're discriminating. Whether there's alternative means to achieve that very purpose without unfairly discriminating. Those are some of the things that one should consider. And at the very crux of it all, it is evidence that needs to be proved, And as I say, the proof is in the pudding. People have been dying. The numbers are out there.
It's abundantly clear.
It's clear.
It's clear. People and we need vaccination.
It is clear. So when you say reasonable and justifiable, I think the evidence speaks for itself.
It does.
In a sense that people are dying, and people should. I think that should be grounds enough for one to exercise the right of admission.
Exactly. So do you know what I just thought about? What I literally just thought about it as an example for the ends justify the means. So discrimination, is allowed as long as it's not unfair. Let's take affirmative action, for instance, whereas people are being discriminated against because of the fact that in the past, the evidence is that in the past they were oppressed and didn't have those opportunities. So the ends justify the means. So now And that doesn't that makes it fair discrimination.
I guess so.
So almost like if it's that type of thing like that.
And what would make it unfair is, for instance, when you're in a pub and then the owner has some sort of dislike a gay person or a black person.
A black
so
person.
That's not justifiable.
That's not justifiable.
That's not reasonable, and that would be unjustifiable.
Yeah. Because
that would be unfair discrimination.
Exactly, because the end is to be a bigot, and whatever it is. But then at the same time, guys, we need to remember that there's a whole list of rights that are accorded to South Africans and that have to be weighed against each other. Like the right to equality, you can't be, discriminated unfairly on the basis of race, gender, sexual orientation, religion, etc., etc. So, and to go back to the ends justify the means. We need to remember that we have been going to restaurants all this time without a vaccine, preventing COVID, preventing the transmission of COVID. So one can argue that there is an alternative to the discrimination, that is fair. There's an alternative that we've been doing, but then and then there's other considerations as well, because Section 9 tells you that look, you can't unfairly discriminate people based off of religion as well. Meanwhile, the Constitution and the Bill of Rights also affords us the right to religion, but freedom of religion, opinion, and belief. And we know that there are religious institutions that actually, advise, or not even advise, prescribe that their members mustn't consume Western medication. So what then? What happens then? Because this is something that's section that the right to equality, affords them, and also freedom of religion. And then there's also freedom of trade and occupation, because your employer could even prescribe that, look, if you're not vaccinated, in fact, employers are very, very disrespectful. They will bring vaccines to your workplace while you're busy working there and tell you to, like, you know what I mean? But then we need to understand, like my learned friend here said, that look, I think at the end of the day, it's about what we're trying to achieve with the vaccination. That's the most important.
I feel also as well, the fact that you spoke about the religion part makes it very tricky, because one can go to the place of employment or go to whatever, but once the religion states that always against the whole Western medication, the way people are so attached and sensitive with the whole religion stance, there's nothing you can tell them.
There's nothing you can tell them.
Nothing you can tell them. There's nothing you can say. That's what they believe. That's what their religion believes, and this is what they follow. So it becomes tricky. It becomes very.
But then, and guys, remember, these are not our views. But then, here's the troubling thing about people like that. You find a medical practitioner who follows a religion where they do not take Western medicine, but they administer it onto other people and their patients. So there's a bit of a misalignment in that, and you'll find the very same people that tell you that, look, my church or my whatever, wherever I practice my religion, says that I'm not allowed to take Western medication. But then the very same church says you're not allowed to drink. But now he's fighting with the pub owner about this thing, like.
About the admission admission reserve.
So and that's where like we want you guys to understand that sometimes the law can be used for trivialities and unnecessarily and frivolously and but guys, that's the chat. Like that's basically what we're doing here. We're just talking about pertinent issues, but giving you like the legal perspective of them, and obviously we're also looking colored with full of baby.
Can you believe this guy? no, not me, guys.
Okay, all right.
Okay, guys. So yeah, that's our chat. We just basically literally want to engage and want to engage on a social level, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and also enlighten each other and bring certain aspects in which we can put to the table, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And there are things that as well we may have not thought about.
Yeah, and oh, by the way, lawyers, please.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, this is not for lawyers. Lawyers, trust me. If you really want to argue about this properly, we will argue with you. Like, please don't come and say, no, you missed this, you missed that.
It's not about that.
We're trying to, and so here's the thing. Sorry, like as a parting word, that the law applies to every single person in existence.
Yeah.
Yet, the majority of people don't understand it and not do it.
Yeah.
So that's what we're trying to do. Like,
that's our purpose.
Bring the law to you. Like, this is the law. This is how it can be applied. This is like weird. Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Our purpose is basically just to also give a little bit of like bridge, where people don't understand, and we try our best to explain to them and give two sides to a coin. So, guys, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like.
Yeah.
Don't forget
to share.
Don't forget to be a fan, man.
Yeah, man. But yeah, man. I shouldn't have said my bro. Bleep that out.
We will say my Leonard colleague.
My Leonard colleague. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.